So today we're going to be restoring some plastic, the airbox covers. What I did, well, let me show you the one I started out with looks like this. It's pretty oxidized, really rough, got a lot of scratches in it. And then what I did is I made it look like this. So what you do is you start out with some, on this I started out with 36 grit. And actually it wasn't coming off very good neither, so I did the old razor blade trick. What you do is you just you scrape the heaviest oxidation off. But I stayed away from all the tight corners and everything because it's hard to even get sandpaper in there. So I did 36 grit, 180, 320, then I did 600. And what I used is this Harbor Freight. It's a Bauer, like 20 bucks. Man, what an awesome tool. I'm glad I got it. It really helps out a lot. And then what I like to do is get my sandpaper, I think they're for 8-inch disc or something, and I only have a 6, but it wraps around the sides, and that when we get into the tight corners a little better. So, well, that's how I did it. I probably won't show you all the boringness of me sanding. Oh, and I forgot to mention, once you get it all sanded nice and smooth, that's the key. You get it as smooth as you can, because any scratches left in there, you will have, well, after you put this stuff on there, it's called Cerakote trim coat, and it comes in like little, let me show you, individual little packs. They're like wet wipe things, you know. So you just spread it all out over it and let it dry, and that's how you get the finished one I have. But you make sure it's as smooth as possible. Even that one, I mean, using that little DA, it'll leave like a slight texture if you don't go fine enough grit, and it'll have kind of a textured surface to it. But it looks pretty good to me. I mean, show it to you again. I mean, you can see, maybe, I don't know if it shows up, but maybe a little bit around the tight spots are hard to get, a little bit of scratches, but it looks pretty good. I mean, the majority of it, especially the part that shows outward, you know, is pretty nice. So, yeah. As you can see here, I'm started out, I used a razor blade to get some of the heavy oxidation off. Then I went to actually 40 grit, not like the 36 I said earlier, and just kept sanding and sanding. And I found out that if I use water when I'm sanding, it helped out quite a bit. Then I just went up to the 180 grit and 400 and then 600, and then I kind of, like you can see, I hand sanded a little bit in the corners and stuff. I didn't get it 100% perfect, but it looks pretty darn good. Well, that was 35 minutes of sanding, so it's probably not perfect, but she's a racer, not a show queen. So I'll wipe all this plastic residue off, and then you gotta make sure it's thoroughly dried, and then I'll put the Cerakote on. Before I do that, just a little more sanding in the tight spots with the 600 grit. So after you let it dry thoroughly, I mean, you can see what it looks like. There's a couple little deep ones that I didn't get out, but I think it'll be okay. The other one was kind of like that too. See it across there. But so all you got to do is, oh, actually there's a little thing there. Just take it and you just try to wipe it in one direction. Stuff stinks too. Holy cow. So it must be good. Just like that. The final one, all in one direction. I don't know how important that is. Maybe it doesn't matter. Give a quick whirl around here, make sure I didn't miss nothing. Just like that. Almost as good as new. You know, even with a couple minor scratches in there, still looks way better than a used piece. You know that before I started out. Since I didn't want this to go to waste, I might as well, you know, wipe it on the airbox boot. I didn't even really clean it that good, so we'll see what it looks like. Well, there you have it. The way I restored plastic. I didn't come up with any of this. I watched a few videos. This one seemed like worth trying. So, see ya.